Hello everyone, from the today's title you can see that we will be covering a roadmap for a DevOps in 2025 and we will discuss why it is important to learn if you are a developer, tester or a system admin. With the recent news indicated that the companies like Salesforce, Meta along with many other companies are halting their hiring for a mid-level and a senior level software developers or a tester or an admin. This trend largely because of increasing the capabilities of AI to perform these tasks more efficiently. Yes, in 2025, AI will play a major role in a software development, system admin, and a testing. Whether you are a Java, PHP, or a Python developer, or you are a manual tester or an automation tester, or you are a system admin or a Windows admin. Learning in DevOps is an essential to stay ahead. AI is changing this industry. Automation of a traditional role and pushing to the DevOps practices are on the front. Without DevOps, it will be challenging to adopt as AI is taking the core functional roles. Making the integration of these technologies are critical for a career growth in the current time frame. In today's video, we will walk you through a complete DevOps roadmap tailored specifically for a developer, tester, and the admins. I'll break down what you need to learn, what tools you need to master, and what are the real world use case you can practice so that you can be a DevOps pro. So stick around till the end. Let's start by understanding why DevOps is so crucial in 2025. With a faster software delivery cycle, increase of automation, and rising of cloud adoption, company needs a team who can collaborate seamlessly across development, testing, and operations. That's where DevOps comes into picture. And this is the reason we have been creating this video for you so that if you're planning yourself or if you're hearing DevOps, you can be ready for this job role. Let's take an example, developers. Someone who is a Java developer, PHP, Python, React, any other full stack developers. For them, version control system, where they have to master the Git and learn how to collaborate using the platforms like GitHub and Git Action. CICD pipeline, you should be an hands-on experience on Jenkins, GitLab, and GitHub Actions. This tool helps to automate the code, integration, and deployment. Containers, learn Docker for create a consistent deployment environment and Kubernetes for a container orchestration. Infrastructure as a code, Terraform and Ansible automates the entire infrastructure as a code. Then the cloud services, AWS, Azure or GCP, you can pick any of one. And then it comes to monitoring and the logging where Nagios, Prometheus, Splunk comes into picture. We will further break down. First we will see what testers should learn or what system admin should learn. And then we will have a cumulative breakdown for an entire curriculum. So as a tester, the first focus should be on automating the testing and a continuous quality assurance. So same CICD integration is mandatory. Here one additional thing that comes into picture, that is the performance testing. Then is the containers, same Docker and the Kubernetes. Then your shift left testing, where SonarQube comes into picture. For an administrator, someone who is a Linux administrator, system administrator or window administrator, for them OS and networking is important, where shell scripting or a PowerShell scripting will come into picture. For them, cloud platform is like a god. He have to learn these, any of two clouds is mandatory. Again, infrastructure automation, that is Ansible, Ceph, Puppet. Then your containers and the orchestration, learn Kubernetes and Docker. Then comes into the picture of monitoring and incidents response, where you can learn the Prometheus, Grafana, EL stack, log stack, any of one. For all these roles, few things are compulsory, I can say, or a common skills. Git as a version control, scripting, and the cloud fundamentals, along with the Docker and containers and the monitoring tools. If you are a system admin, or if you are a developer, or if you are a tester, for everyone you should know all these three. These are the common between each other. What makes a difference between all three is the OS and networking for an admin. For a testers, make a difference is all about shift left testing. For developers, it's common for everything. So now we will break down into the further steps. What should we learn when it comes to curriculum? So we'll start with the version control. First, you should learn the Git and how to collaborate using the multiple platforms like GitHub Action and GitLab. So for the Git, you can learn Introduction to Git, where you can learn the control fundamentals, repository, commits, and the branches. Understand the key Git terminologies, commit, branch, tag, merging. Then you should learn Git workflow and commit operations. So practice on the common Git operations like adding a file, making commits, managing the branches. Explore the revert, reset, different kinds of commits that you can learn for it. Then learn the work with the tags. We will move to advanced Git concepts now. We will deep dive into the Git internals, where we will understand the objects like trees, commit, tags, object hashing. Explore the advanced branching strategies like Git flow, GitHub flow, then GitLab flow. Compare the rebase versus merge strategies. So having an interactive rebase and squash commit that you should know. Learn the Git hooks for a pre-commit or a post-commit automation. For branching and the collaboration workflow, we will be learning is important. Master the features like release, hotfix branching strategies. Collaborate using Git flow, GitHub flow, and GitLab workflow. Resolve the conflicts and handle the code review efficiently and effectively. Group exercise, practice a collaborative shared Git repository using the branching and using the merging strategies. Now we will move towards the CICD pipeline. The first focus should be on Jenkins. Once you have a hands-on in Jenkins, you want to try for a GitLab or a Git Actions, you can go for it. So for the CI/CD pipeline for Jenkins, first job creations, plugins management, declarative pipeline syntax, integrating the security tools into CI/CD pipeline, advanced Jenkins configuration. Under that, you should know distributed builds, scalability with Jenkins master-slave architect, and you should be having a hands-on configuration on master-slave setup. Then implementing advanced pipeline features like caching and retry mechanism will give you a good hands-on or good understanding on the Jenkins. Now we will move towards the Docker and Kubernetes. Learn Docker and Kubernetes for creating a consistent deployment in the environment, because Kubernetes for a container orchestration. Let's take an example. Kubernetes ensure your app runs the same way in the deployment as it does in production environment. So Docker image, Docker hub, Docker file and Docker building customs images, Docker port mapping, Docker networking. Under the networking, you should know the container networking interfaces. Docker Swarm node, you should know deploying a services in Docker Swarm, configuring overlay network in Docker Swarm, handling nodes failure and ensuring the service continuity. In Kubernetes, master and the worker nodes, understanding the Kubernetes cluster, Kubernetes pod and multi-container pod, Kubernetes services and deployments. Under the services and deployments, you should know types and configuration, deployment strategies. You should know a Helm for using managing Kubernetes application packages and templating, stateful states, configuration maps and secret, resource management, auto scaling, horizontal podding and auto scaling, cluster auto scaling, vertical auto scalers. You should be having these things hands-on. Nowadays, Docker and Kubernetes is very important. If you have a time, once you have a hands-on on it, you should go with Surface Mesh. For infrastructure as a code, learn like a Terraform and Ansible to automate your infrastructure setup. This become a crucial when you're working on a cloud providers like Azure, AWS or a GCP. So under the Terraform, you should know the provider, resource, variables, output blocks and the dynamic blocks. Terraform configuration language, HCL, Terraform declarative syntax and its advantage, state management, dynamic blocks, creating a reusable modules, collaboration features, remote state management and locking. You should have all these things mandatory. For hands-on, you can create a Terraform configuration for provisioning and infrastructure resources. Like example, you can create a virtual machines or a network storage and manage those files, workspace and modules in Terraform. If you are aware of these topics, you want to prepare yourself, you can go with our another video, that is the interview questions on Terraform, which we have uploaded last week. You can go and check the entire set of questions which are mandatory and which are scenario based questions that usually ask on multiple interviews by multiple product based companies. Now we'll move to monitoring and logging. So you should understand how to set up a monitoring using the Prometheus, Grafana, or learn the logging system EL stack or Logstack. So basic monitoring system with a configuration of Prometheus, Grafana or Nagios, metrics collection, visualization, setup of your Grafana dashboard, creating a visualization and chart, creating a dashboard and visualization in Kibana, service discovery mechanism, recording rules and alerts, templating and variables. For monitoring, these are the things you should learn. Again, as I said, if you're a tester, add one thing, that is the Sonar Cube. For developer also it is required. For tester, if you learn the shift left testing, like this means involving the testing in an early deployment process, will get familiar with the Sonar Cube. So if you know Sonar Cube, like how to set up using the Sonar Cube for a static code, or to having detects on the vulnerabilities or the code smells, for that Sonar Cube is one of the code. If you are an admin, follow the same curriculum, only learn in depth of shell scripting or a PowerShell scripting, which will help you with the different networking aspects, which will help you in understanding the OS properly. In networking, if you know TCP and different kinds of models, that is more than sufficient. So any one of you focus on all three segments, that is the version control, scripting and cloud fundamentals. That's all for today. DevOps Roadmap for 2025. I hope this gave you a clear path to forward, whether you are a developer, tester or an admin. Remember, learning a DevOps is a journey. Take one step at one time. If you found this video is helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. We will keep uploading such videos for you, which will help you to learn the entire DevOps very efficiently and effectively. Also, if you're interested, you can check our DevOps with AI Masters program. Link is in description. It will help you to fast track your entire DevOps learning. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next video.